Hi, I'm Leah Riggs from Music in the Meadow. Today I have the story of Mr. Wiggles and Mr. Waggles. In this story, we will warm up our singing voices, so parts of the story you'll do with me, and parts of the story you'll listen to. Boys and girls, can you try this with me? How about the other hand? Now let's try it backwards. And the other hand. The other part of the story you'll do with me goes like this. Down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up. Can you try that with me? Down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up. Make sure when they go down the hill, your voice goes down, gets lower. When they go up the hill, make sure your voice goes up and gets higher. Here we go. Once there was a man named Mr. Wiggles. He lived on the top of a hill. There was another man named Mr. Waggles. He lived on the top of another hill. One day, Mr. Wiggles decided to go see Mr. Waggles. He opened his door. He went outside, and he closed the door behind him. And then he went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up. He knocked on the door. Mr. Waggles. Nobody answered, so he decided to knock again, a little louder. Mr. Waggles! Still nobody answered, so he decided to go home. He went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up. He opened his door. He went inside and he closed the door behind him. The next day, Mr. Waggles decided to go see Mr. Wiggles. He opened his door. He went outside and he closed the door behind him. And then he went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill, down the hill and up. He knocked on the door. Mr. Wiggles. Nobody answered, so he decided to knock again, a little louder. Mr. Wiggles! Still nobody answered, so he decided to go home. He went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up. He opened his door. He went inside and he closed the door behind him. The next day, Mr. Wiggles and Mr. Waggles decided to go see each other. They opened their doors. They went outside and they closed the doors behind them. And then they went down the hill and up the hill, down the hill and up. Mr. Waggles, Mr. Wiggles, oh my gosh. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh, it's really good to see you too. Oh, do you want to play? Yeah, let's do it. And they chased each other around the meadow. And they went down the slide. Woo! And they went on the swings. Whee! They played all day long, but it was dark outside. All of a sudden, they decided they had to go home. So they said, bye, Mr. Waggles. Bye, Mr. Wiggles. Hey, why don't you call next time? Oh, okay, yeah. See ya. Later. And they went down the hill and up the hill and down the hill and up. They opened their doors. They went inside and they closed the doors behind them. And that's the story of Mr. Wiggles and Mr. Waggles.